Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. I am Gandair of the gaming clan, VATOCLAN, and with me is SirFancyWolf, who played for Awesome Explosion plus Lolly. Played for. What is actually the situation with that team in competition right now in the Dominion tournaments?
Well, AEL had quite a good running going for them, and then what we ended up doing was I needed to take a break because I had to work on some stuff to try to get hired by Riot for resume, whatnot, and then Corval had also taken a break. Lolly moved away and has really bad internet right now, so the team just kind of can't get together at all. So I've been throwing together some ragtag DD teams just trying to compete and still have fun in the tournament, but we should be back eventually. We're just trying to make sure we can get everyone back is the problem.
For anyone not familiar, SirFancyWolf plays in the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion tournament. He's been a competitor for quite a while. Do you remember which was the first tournament that you participated in?
Let's see. I want to say I started getting into DD around the beginning of Season 3 for League of Legends, and then that's when I really focused on Dominion, and then I believe my first tournament was around November, December.
And what brought you into the Dominion game mode? Everyone has sort of a story about how they end up at Dominion. Either they like Capture and Control, they like League, but they didn't like Summoner's Rift. There's a myriad of factors. What is it that attracted you to that game mode?
Playing in the higher level of SR, and after playing it for so long, it eventually just became really tiresome. You know, you sit there for 40 minutes, and you're trying your best, and you have those teammates that just are like, I don't really care right now. They don't want to try their best. They don't want to give it their all. And it's a waste of time, in a sense, and then after doing it for so long, you just want something new. So I came to Dominion, I gave that a shot, and it was just a breath of fresh air. It was fun, it was a lot faster paced, there was no laning phase to worry about. It really came down to your mechanical skill and how well you could control your champions. So that really, really enticed me.
Speaking of champions, who do you typically like to play on the Crystal Scar, and why do you like to play them?
Currently, my Jarvan is my big threat. I have even had it banned against me in the tournament a few times. I really like to play initiators, and he is the only initiator that is AD. He has built-in shred. He has a 2 to 3 second cooldown on his knockup if you can position it properly, and then he has a lot of AoE team control with his ultimate as well. So he just brings so much to the table, and he's an AD tank, which there isn't too much of because Riot really, really likes their Magic Pen tanks. So.
Now, out of the characters in Dominion, people always talk a lot about balance and things like that, and I don't want to get too into that here, but which champion do you find the most annoying to play against? Not Kassadin, because everyone kind of globally says Kassadin's really annoying because of his chase, his escape, and his brutal, brutal silence.
It would have to be on more of a personal level. When I was trying to learn bot lane, Diana is just, I have never been able to beat Diana. Even when I'm playing something that everyone's like, oh yeah, you should be able to beat Diana, she always wins. It's just, that is my one kryptonite in any game mode on League of Legends, is Diana just always wins against me.
Okay, so now that you know how to counterpick FancyWolf, FancyWolf also does a couple other things on the internet other than lose to Diana's. He does a little bit of streaming as well. Can you plug the Twitch and talk about what kind of games you like to play on your stream and just a little bit about that?
Yeah, I do stream at twitch.tv/SirFancyWolf. I try to stream as much as possible. If I'm not working or doing anything with my family, I will pretty much be streaming. Most of the time I'm playing Dominion. Sometimes I'll do in-houses with everyone, play some ARAM occasionally. I'll also do speedruns of games, some older games like Mega Man X. I really, really enjoy doing speedruns. And eventually I am looking into getting into Infinity Crisis and possibly streaming that as well.
Now, real quick on the Mega Man X, what's your current PB on that game?
Shoot, it's been a while. I think I'm sitting at about 43 minutes. 43 minutes.
43 minutes, that's pretty solid. And Infinite Crisis, glad that you mentioned that because that game is pretty awesome. The people with Turbine and Infinite Crisis, there's some of them here at MLG, and we've been playing a bunch of games with them, talking to them. You and me, we've played in pre-mades with and against each other. What are your first impressions of that game, having played it here and been able to see it in this environment?
So far, it's really, really exciting. It's fun. It brings elements to Dominion that I wish Dominion had, and it's it is that, again, breath of fresh air that you're starting to get with Dominion. You're like, man, it's kind of just, I wish something would change. I wish there was, the help that we could get with the balancing. And after talking with the devs and even playing on this beta build, they're saying, we're already changing that. Don't worry about that. We're already changing that. Don't worry about that. We know this spell is overpowered. We're nerfing it. We're fixing it. We want everything to be viable. And as a player and someone looking into getting into the game industry, that really speaks to me as like, this is going to be a game worth picking up.
We haven't seen much of Infinite Crisis in competition because there hasn't been a lot of that going on. Right here, what they have at MLG is a demo where they're just putting random groups of 5 or sometimes pre-mades against pre-mades in it. What do you think competition would be like? Would you be interested in getting into the competitive aspect of this game as well?
Most definitely. I would have to say if you're a high-elo Dominion player or you just really enjoy Dominion, you will definitely enjoy Infinite Crisis. If you enjoy it on the competitive level as well, Infinite Crisis is definitely something to look into. There's some very interesting map mechanics that work with pre-made 5v5 teams. There's some very interesting plays that can be done. It's just been outstandingly fun.
Now, one of the more interesting questions, I think, to follow that up is, if Infinite Crisis gets to a position where it's a competitive game, Dominate Dominions already has a competitive scene running for it, would you play in both tournaments? Do you see it as being feasible to be able to compete in both games? Or do you think it might lend towards, there being like a Team Dominion, Team Infinite Crisis?
It would depend on how quickly Riot gets their map balance going. If Dominion can become feasible, we can cut down bans in the tournament and have a more, hey, we can target players with our bans instead of just all the ridiculously strong champions. I could see splitting up into 2 teams, having one team solely focus on Dominion and say, hey, your AEL's Dominion team and your AEL's Infinite Crisis team, because while both games are relatively similar, they do require some form of different skill set. The micro, the attack animations, it's like trying to play League and Dota competitively at the same exact time. It's completely different ballpark in that regard.
And are we going to see you stream a lot of Infinite Crisis coming up?
Yes, actually. I was talking with the devs, and I did get an email, and I might actually be streaming on their main page for them. So you can expect to see a lot of IC coming out of my stream in the future. I will be talking about that, trying to get people more adapted, people who are getting into this game who haven't gone into Dominion, and showing them what a higher level of play is, and kind of trying to help develop that meta for the map.
Well, I am definitely hyped to see some of that. I have one more question for you before we cut out. Where the hell does your name come from, SirFancyWolf? I picture a very dapper werewolf wearing glasses. Is it like an anthro thing? Is it something from an anime? What's going on with that?
Okay, so, man, let's see. It was a long time ago, Xbox Live, we were all playing, and I wanted to change my name. It was originally Dark Wolf. And my good friend Lolly was like, you just watched Trigun, you like wolves, and you really liked Wolfwood from Trigun. Why not name yourself Gung Ho Gun Wolf? So then we created our Gung Ho Gun clan, and we had all that going on for a while. And eventually we were going to get into media and all this other stuff with esports. And we were going to be the fancy crew. And we were all going to wear top hats and go around and interview people. And then eventually that died out. But I still like the idea of the name of Fancy Wolf, so that's what I just kind of stuck with.
I'm actually glad I'm kind of glad you didn't get into that, because I would have no job because everyone would line up for the top hat and the monocle. Is there anyone you want to say hi to? Any shout outs, thank yous, anything else that you want to add?
Of course, shout out to my old team AEL, always rocking it. They were practicing, doing awesome stuff. We'll hopefully be back in, getting that stuff done. Big shout out to all my normal stream viewers. And I'm trying not to laugh because I have Lolly running over there, circling around. I already said thank you to you. But yeah, no, big shout out to my stream, everyone that watches me. Thank you for your support. It's really fun. I enjoy streaming and just giving you guys a good show.
All right, thank you very much for coming on camera with me today, Fancy, and I look forward to seeing you on the stream.
We'll see you later.